You... Ah!
Join the team.
Hey team, it's McGuire Review, and today we're going to take a look at a couple products from Disney's Galaxy's Edge. Now, we actually went as a family on a vacation a couple years ago. It was right when Galaxy's Edge was opening, so some of the things that we go through today may have been changed, may have been upgraded, may not even be in stock anymore, so just understand that. This is really just kind of a fun video to do for the week of May the 4th be with you. So we're going to be taking a look at two of the products. One is the Droid builds from the Droid Depot there at Galaxy's Edge. I have a very interesting looking one here. I'll tell you why this looks like this here in a second. And then the Lightsaber build, which is from Savi's workshop, which is another really cool experience you can pay for, where not only do you get to build an entire lightsaber setup like this, you also get to go through somewhat of an experience as you're building it, and they lead you through the storyline of building the lightsaber. It's a very, very cool experience. I highly recommend it, especially if you want to come out with an amazing lightsaber that has a super high quality to it. And you come away with a really cool case that holds your lightsaber that's got, it's obviously got some images on it. It's a nice padded case. And whichever one that you choose, you also get a custom pin that goes with the type of lightsaber that you chose. I went with the nature lightsaber, and you get a pin that goes with that as well. And that's the only way that you can get those pins. So it's kind of an exclusive, special experience. I do highly recommend it. So we're going to start with the lightsaber here from Savi's Lightsaber Workshop. Then we're going to get into the droid and what you'll find here, what it can do, and what that experience is like. If you are interested in any of these, what they look like, what the Galaxy's Edge experience is like, you can find that on my channel as well. I do have a playlist that's got some family vacations, and in there we do have our trip to Galaxy's Edge in Orlando, Disney World, and you'll be able to see kind of all these different experiences, what that whole place looks like. It's very, very cool if you're interested. You can check that out. So when it comes to the lightsabers, there is a number of options that you can do to actually design what your lightsaber looks like. So here in the nature, there were a number of different options. This is what I chose. You can mix and match some of these things as well. This is what I went with, as well as these pieces right here. We'll put them on in a second after I show you how kind of the Kyber crystal works. This is the Rancor Tooth. When I went, these were very, very popular. I believe they sold out of them at one point. They may have them again now where you can get your hands on. I'm not sure. They were very popular when I went. And the reason is because it just looks very unique and custom. And I thought it was just a perfect look for the nature saber. And that's why I went with the Rancor Tooth. You will notice this piece has some slices kind of right here in the plastic. And that's so the sound can actually come out that the lightsaber makes. The sound of these sabers all come out of the bottom here, and the sound has to escape, so that's why there's these slices that are in the tooth there. This piece is made of a very hard plastic here on the bottom, the Rancor Tooth, but most of all the other pieces are actually made of metal. So these are metal pieces. They're very high quality. They're very heavy. The saber has a good weight to it because most of everything that's on this saber is made of metal. It's either a very, very hard plastic or a metal. Now, on pieces like this leather wrap, it is, it's got some give to it. It's not spongy, but it definitely has some give to it, which makes you sort of feel like it actually is that material, which is really nice. They put a lot of effort into the materials on these particular sabers. What's metal, what's hard plastic. Even here on the wood grain, it is kind of a softer plastic as well. It's really cool the way that they've designed this, and it's very high quality. And I would say this is probably one of the most high quality lightsaber builds you can get. Definitely one of the most high quality custom lightsaber builds you can get out there. So that's why I highly recommend it if you're a Star Wars fan. So that's kind of a review of the pieces and the quality of the lightsaber build. Now we're going to get into a couple different things that most people will have questions on. That's the Kyber crystal replacements as well as the battery replacement. When you do have to replace the battery, you're going to unscrew the pommel here and take that off. And then on the bottom here is where the battery pack lives. Now, in some videos, it'll say, just kind of jiggle it and it comes out No, if you jiggle it and it comes out, that it's not been installed properly from the very beginning. You do have to turn it counterclockwise, and then the unit will pull out. Then there's a small screw here. Do not take the screws out that are on the bottom. There's a small screw right here you'll take out, and there's 3 AAA batteries that are in there that you can replace. When you put it back in, there's a little red arrow that is on this piece here, and there's a little red arrow that's in here. And it only fits one way, and you go and you put it back in exactly the way it's supposed to fit. Then after it goes in, you're going to turn it clockwise and lock it in, and then you cannot pull it out. Okay, that's very important. Now, if you just put it in there and push it down and put this back on, it is going to put a level of pressure on this, and it probably will turn on and it probably will work. But that's where a lot of people then complain, like, oh, I turned the button on and it didn't work sometimes, or I jiggle it and then it works or it turns off weirdly. That's because your battery pack isn't properly installed. This can be this way from the very beginning when you get it if it wasn't manufactured and installed properly. Someone just pushed it in there and locked it in. So that's something that you are going to want to check. It's the simple fix of ensuring that your battery pack is installed properly. Okay, so that's how the batteries are going to work. You're just going to screw that right back on, just like that. You want to make sure you get your threads on there properly. It's going to screw right back on, and then I like to hold it right here in the center and just give it one little bit, sort of quarter twist until it tightens and stops. You don't want to overextend that. The reason for that is the threading on this piece is made of metal, and the threading on the other piece is made of plastic, so you don't want to overextend that and grind your threads. Okay, so just tighten it until it just stops, and then that's all you really need. You don't need to go any tighter than that. There's just no reason for it. It's not going to come loose. That's all you need. Okay, these pieces will be a little bit loose, and that is to put your Kyber crystal in. Now there is on this piece a blue side and a red side. Your blue side is going to be the top tip of the crystal. Your red side is going to be the bottom part of the crystal. So the crystal will go into the piece like this. It will sit in the bottom, and the bottom does not move. The top has a little bit of a give. So you'll put that crystal kind of at the top there, kind of push up, and then snap the crystal in at the bottom. That's the easiest way to get it in. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the green. I went with the green originally because it just kind of fit with the nature theme of the saber. Plus, I just like the green saber. And I also got one of the yellow Kyber crystals, which at the time was not popular at all. Everybody was looking for the black Kyber crystal or the red Kyber crystals. The blues and the greens were popular as well. But there were a ton of yellows and nobody was really going for them. I kind of foresaw the last Star Wars had not been released yet. And I thought, you know what? And this is a spoiler if you haven't seen that video, the next thing I'm going to say. At the very end of that, Rey fires up her blade, and it is the golden or yellow saber, which is from kind of the Jedi. If you know the lore, it's kind of the Jedi Temple Guards had the yellow golden sabers, and I just thought, that's so cool from like a lore perspective. That's why I was attracted to it. And I also thought that, you know, I bet at the very end there'll be something that will be like that. It'll either be white or yellow, and I think it's going to be yellow. I remember telling the lady that was working there, you know, I'm going to get this yellow. This is what people are going to when Rey fires up that blade at the end of the movie. And she didn't agree with me, but it looks like I ended up being right. It was that color. So and right after that was released, these things like literally went out of stock everywhere. They were going on eBay for like $100+. Now they're in the $20 to $30 range, so they're not as sought after. But I love the yellow here, and we're going to fire up the yellow as well. And I'll talk a little bit about the way these cases work while I'm talking about this one. And this is something to know. There is a little area at the top where you can thread like a string through, and you can use that to kind of hang off of a necklace, or what I see done a lot of times, and what I've done actually in the past as well, is if I do cosplay, I have an Obi-Wan cosplay setup that's pretty cool. I can thread a piece of leather through that, and then I can hang that from like a belt. And you can have multiple ones if you want to change out your crystal color. Something to know about these cases is that they unscrew from the bottom. Now, it might feel intuitive that it would unscrew from the top, and I tried to do that at first, and I almost broke it, so you want to be careful with that. They do not unscrew from the top, they unscrew from the bottom. So there's some threading that's on there, and you just twist it, and the bottom will unscrew. And there is some packaging, and then the crystal is in there as well. Now, I would recommend keeping these little plastic packagings because then you can put other, crystals in there and store them, and then they're in there secure, and they don't jiggle as much because they have that packaging in there. So I would recommend keeping the packaging that's inside. We'll set that to the side here for a second, and we'll take a look at these crystals. So now let's get the crystal installed. We're going to put that in like that, and there's a little spot that tip fits in. Okay, once it's installed, the crystal will glow and will make some sounds like that. That indicates that it's working and it's activated. Each crystal will produce different colors as well as sounds. Now we'll install the blade. If you look at the tip here, there is 2 notches, one smaller than the other one. If you look at here, there's 2 notches, one smaller than the other one. So you'll put the small with the small and the big with the big. Okay, and lock that in. You'll push it in, and then you will turn it counterclockwise, much like you do with the battery pack. Okay, if you just push it in, you'll see there's a little bit of give there, and it will fly out if you start to use it. So you want to push it in, and you want to make sure you counterclockwise turn until it stops. Again, don't overdo it. You'll break it. Just when it stops, it's done. It's just like the battery pack. Okay, and then you're going to put these pieces on like this. It will simply just snap right on. Okay. And then these 2 pieces will screw on as well. You'll see they'll kind of grab and they'll twist on. And just make it tight like that, and now it's all together. Then you want to kind of look at everything and make sure you got everything lined up the way that you want it. Okay, there's the switch that I chose. You can do a number of different ones. I wanted just that very basic switch. Okay, so you can turn that on. And it will have noises as you move. The blade will actually flash as well when you're fighting and it hits. It does need to have a certain amount of pressure, and you'll see the flash and the sound will also. So it's really cool to use. Just awesome. Okay, so now let's put the yellow in as well. So take a look at that, how that looks a little bit different. Again, it's so easy, just that's all you do. And another thing I will mention is there is a little blue and red mark here. You want to make sure those go over the blue and red. That just make sure that these are installed the right way. Okay, so everything is color coded very easily for you to be able to know how to use it. Out comes the green, in comes the yellow. It's that easy to switch them out. Just make sure your tip is in that little point there, and then push it up. Okay. Yellow is now installed. Again, you'll always get that noise to indicate that everything has been installed properly. We'll lock this in. We'll lock this side in. Okay. Again, you just push up on that piece and then screw until it stops. You do have to put a little bit of force there to get it to kind of grab, and then once it does, it's on there really good. Okay. Then we're going to turn the yellow on. Oh, here we go. Oh! Sick! Okay, now you'll notice this one has a little bit of a different sound. It's a little bit of a higher pitch, which is a little bit different than the lower hum that this crystal had. So, again, it does... They all have not only different colors, but different sounds as well. Okay, this one's got a little bit more of a white flash when it hits, where the green one had more of a lighter green. This has got a yellow to a white flash. This had a dark green to a light green flash. So again, each one of those Kyber crystals is going to be completely different, and it's going to give you kind of a different experience. And that's why it is kind of cool to pick up at least a couple of them, if not a few of them. They do retail at lower cost if you're at Galaxy's Edge. I want to say they go for like $10 or $15. They weren't very expensive for what, the ability to change everything out, sounds and light gave you. So that's why I definitely wanted to pick up at least one more. You can see that saber, okay, on the on and off. And they do look amazing in low light as well. When you're in low light, I mean, it literally looks like you are firing up a lightsaber, turning it on and off. It's amazing. You know, for the quality build and what you're getting here, and the Kyber crystal switch out and everything that you get with this particular build, it is a very custom, high quality piece if you're looking for a high quality lightsaber. One thing that's nice about the blades being able to be taken out is obviously if you are doing cosplay, you can take your, because these blades, you know, obviously don't, you know, extract down into it, which none of the higher quality ones do. You can take your blade out. You can just hang this from the side clip that's right here, and they do sell little. I actually got one. They do sell little pieces that will hook onto a belt that will hold this, and you'll be able to hold it right from your waist. And that is Savi's lightsaber builds. Pretty much everything about the crystals and the lightsaber. I know this video is a little bit longer. It's not a super quick one, but I wanted to go through and take some time and look at a full review of this piece and all the different components of it. So you really understand how it works, as well as all the little tips and tricks that I've learned as actually owning it. Okay, so that's the lightsaber. We will set it right out here to the side. Bear, keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on these Kyber crystals. I don't want anybody stealing those. Okay, now we move over to the Droid Depot. Now, the Droid Depot, you can build a number of different types of droids, okay? How this went down is I took my son and actually chose to go to the lightsaber experience, and my wife took my daughter and went and did the droid experience, and I asked for something very different than this, but this is what they came back with. And at first I was like, that's the wrong droid and completely all the wrong colors. But at the same time, it is something that I feel now is actually extremely unique, because I haven't seen really many people do anything like this. Now, these are all just the base components that you can get for the piece. Again, there's tons of different options. This one's really cool. It has the see-through head where you can kind of see all the little, you know, computer parts and gears and engines of what would be inside of there on the top, which is really cool. These do open up. There is a number of little areas that open up on the droid as well, where you can add accessory kits you can get. I think the next time we go back, I'm probably going to get an accessory kit for this, as well as a sticker kit. There's sticker kits you can get that actually go on these pieces here to add and change colors. I'll probably just go with the theme and just do different types of colors. There are actually kits that you can get to put on this that come with their own sound as well. And there's a button on the remote that will activate the sounds of accessory kits. Like jetpacks you can get for more of the R2 type units that do make sounds. This unit obviously has batteries that can be replaced, as well as batteries in the remote here that can be replaced. So we'll look at the functions of the droid, and then I'll say a few other things about the quality of the build. So if I turn the droid on, I just flip this here to on. There's a little red light that flashes to indicate your batteries are good. And then I'll flip this here at the bottom. There's also another little button that's for syncing these remotes, but that's all done, so we're good to go there. And now I can show you each one of the buttons. So the droid will move forwards, and backwards. And it is actually pretty quick, as you can see there. I almost lost it off the front of the table. That would have been really bad. Okay, you can do left and right. Okay, if you hold that, obviously you'll get a full spin, to spin all the way around. So you know it is pretty mobile. It is pretty quick. It's a fairly powerful unit as far as what it can do. It will rip across hard flooring, no problem. It will rip across carpet, no problem. So it's a very well built unit, and it does have a good amount of power to it. All right, there is two other smaller red buttons. The one at the top is going to do nothing right now because I don't have any of the accessories that make any sounds attached to it, nor do I own any of those. But if you had the jetpack or some of the other types of accessories that do make noises, once you hook them to this unit, you will press this button and you'll hear you'll hear whatever noise that that accessory would make. Okay, if you don't have any of that, that button's not going to do anything else for you. There's a button here to make sounds. There's a number of different sounds each unit will make depending on which droid you got. Since I have the R2, it's going to make all the different R2 sounds. Okay, a lot of the classics you're going to hear, right? Okay, and there's a number of noises it's going to make. And then this button here is going to do the head. So the head's going to turn. It will not do a full 360. That's how far it turns. So you're going to get that movement as well with that sound, which I think is really nice. So, you know, if you get good at controlling this, you know, you can, you know, have, you know, you get good at controlling it, you can really create quite a bit of life to the unit. In comparison to anything that's been released so far in the market. So it's a really, really high quality build. This is also much larger than a lot of the other units you've seen released. And I'll get one here, thanks Bear, that was put out by Hasbro. And this one is an R2D2 unit. And this one here has a number of functions where it will kind of drive around by itself, and as it bumps into the walls, it'll move. And this is just kind of a nice little thing to sort of have like running around a room. It also has the voice and the sounds, so it's a pretty awesome little unit, but it definitely doesn't have the size that this one has. You can see the comparison there. It doesn't have the weight. It doesn't have all of the functionality that this one is going to offer. And the other thing that I would call out is this does carry some weight to it as well. This probably weighs about, I don't know, 4 or 5 pounds, I would say. Just trying to like judge that. That's probably 4 or 5 pounds. So it is weighty. It does, you know, feel like a much higher quality type droid unit. And I think it's done really well. I think the price point on this for the experience you get and the build quality of what you walk away with is amazing. The price point on this when we went was $100 for the experience and the build. You would easily pay $100, I think, for something that is of this quality to have. But then you got to add on top of it that you have tons of these parts that are coming by on these conveyor belts that you can pick different colors and different types of parts to build a custom droid. You've got the accessories you can add on, which those do come at a their add-on price, a cost for that. And you have the entire experience of going through, taking all your pieces to the station and putting them together, and the help of the person there. It is a full experience that you're going through. And I think the $100 price point for this is just probably one of the best deals that you can do when you do visit Galaxy's Edge. So that is the droid from the Droid Workshop and the awesome lightsaber from Savi's Lightsaber Workshop. Both awesome experiences. If you want to check out more about Galaxy's Edge, again, we've got a video on the channel that is from that vacation. But these have been two awesome products for the week of May the 4th be with you. And there will be some more board games we're going to try to get out this week as well to go along with the fun of this Star Wars week. So hit that like, hit the subscribe below to join the team. Keep rolling, crits. This has been the McGuire Review, and we'll see you next time.